Do you want to get your business in front of over 100,000 viewers every month? Advertise with 321 and enjoy the best value in local advertising while supporting free community live streams. Your message will be seen across live high school sports, morning shows, and local events, connecting you directly with engaged audiences, boosting your visibility, growing your brand, and helping us keep these broadcasts accessible to everyone for free. Partner with 321 today and watch your business thrive. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Community Insights.
CI, right? We got it on there. We got it on the camera.
Yeah. With Paul Jancarella, I'm Ben Barber, and today we have from the Tapped Apple Winery or Cidery and Winery. Did I get that in the right order?
Yes, you did.
All right, we got John and John. How you doing, guys?
Not too bad.
Excellent.
Happy to be here.
Excellent. Now, John the Fourth, could I get you to move the microphone a little bit closer? I know that you'd rather be in the back.
Yeah,
but
just hiding if possible.
Yeah, but thank you guys so much for being here. Appreciate it.
And I'd like to shout out the last name, Wiedenheft. Wiedenheft.
Yes.
Right? Am I pronouncing that right?
It's German, and in German, we have two vowels, W-I-E in German. The second vowel is long, as in diesel.
Okay.
It's not diesel, it's
Right.
diesel. So
Okay,
it's not
pronounces-
Weidenheft, it's Wiedenheft in German.
Wiedenheft. Wow. Okay. So we got some Germans. We got to be careful what we say now on the show.
Turns out that apple wines and hard ciders are a big thing in Germany.
Is that right?
In much of Europe, yeah.
All right. We're going to get into that in a second. But you folks are located right here on High Street. What number High Street?
37 High.
37 High. It's in the building that houses. Is it Cheech Lussey that still owns the building?
He does own that building.
Yeah, so it's in that location right next to what is now the Fun Company, right?
Right.
Yeah, so you guys are right there. All right. I want to know, because I'm a native of Westerly. I was in the insurance business for 25 years here, but I'd love to know how you guys got to Westerly, where, how long you've been, and, don't tell me you're natives, because I would have known this.
No, I grew up in Norwich, Connecticut.
Okay.
The idea started in Norwich. This year, we actually have been making wine, primarily wine for 20 years, and the hard cider started once we opened up in Westerly.
Wow. Okay. So 2005, basically.
That was one of our first batches. Was back in 2005. We're making 5 gallons as home winemakers.
Yeah. Right. No. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely fantastic. Okay. So, did you, because this being your dad, did you grow up in Norwich?
I grew up in Norwich. Yep.
NFA,
Graduated in 98. My
Okay.
son's also, he's not here today, but he's up at the warehouse making cider right now.
Okay.
He graduated in 2017
From
NFA as well.
From NFA.
Yep.
Okay. So there's a Norwich presence then. That's
Yep.
basically. And did you grow up in Norwich? Or
No, I grew up in Griswold, Connecticut.
Oh, I know Griswold, sure. Because I went to St. Bernard, so I know a lot of these surrounding areas. Because they all went to school there. All right. So tell me, how did we get to Westerly? And give me your opinion. There could be 2 different opinions on Westerly and how we ended up here.
So we came up with the concept for the business. I don't know. So we opened 2017. It was probably 2 years. So back in 2015, we started discussing having a winery.
Okay.
And
This is in Norwich. This discussion is taking
the
place.
discussion was in Norwich and trying to figure out where we were going to do this and applying for licensing, and then finding out that the state of Connecticut wouldn't let us do what we wanted to do. So basically, we wanted to have a location that was, let's say downtown or in some sort of place, but we don't own the orchard. So we have a contract with an orchard, and Connecticut was like, well, our laws don't allow you to do that. And there was some discussion that went on with people that owned wineries that had sunk many millions of dollars into them, who were also calling their legislative people and making sure to roadblock us.
Oh, gee.
So we started looking into Rhode Island, and Rhode Island basically said, if you want to pay us tax money, we would love to have you here.
Okay.
And so we came and moved our plan to Rhode Island and then started looking. And we looked as far as Kingston
Okay.
And
So it was Southern Rhode Island, naturally. 'Cause
Southern
it'll
Rhode Island,
gotta
yep.
fit, so to speak.
Yep. And we had somebody else that was working with us originally, and they showed us a spot that was around the back side of the building that we're currently in the basement. And I walked in, and the retailer's the realtor is trying to sell us on the spot. And I was like, this is bull. And I walked out and walked around the front of the building, and there was a for rent sign in our current location.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is us.
Yeah. You wanted storefront for sure.
wanted
You
storefront, yeah.
wanted foot traffic
Yep.
going
Exactly.
by it, you know what I mean? Which makes sense. You know what I mean? You want to,
yeah.
because it's not that you're a winery, so to speak. You're a tapped apple winery, which there's a different concept behind that.
Right.
So, you know, there's an educational piece. So it's worked out then with Westerly, I would say.
Yeah, there's still people that come in every week that have been here their whole life or live upstairs to us and don't know that we exist.
Upstairs.
Seriously,
Upstairs.
I had one like a month ago. They were like, "I live upstairs from you," and I was like, "Yeah, have you ever been?" No, I didn't even know what you do. And it was like, "Well, you should come in and
Right. Check it out.
find out." You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, it takes a long time to get your name out there.
Yeah,
and get
it
people
is.
understand what you do. And not make assumptions about the kind of products that you make. We have a lot of people think that we're just making, you know, apple flavored soda or something, basically with some booze in it. And it's a lot more in depth than that.
Yeah,
with
no,
a lot,
for sure.
you know,
For
with
sure.
20 years of experience behind it. So.
Yeah. And I think that's always a challenge with anything different as far as a product, because all of us in society, we're unaccustomed to change, really. You know, this is what I do. This is what's, and now once you kind of incorporate these folks, you know, you have like friends for life, so to speak, as far as the product is concerned. But it's something that it's repetitive. You know what I mean? You have to constantly present it and show it, and you know, and next thing you know, it starts to generate some taste bud flow, so to speak. And how about yourself, John? What's your take on all that your son's sharing?
Was listening to my son talk here, and I just wanted to mention that, yeah, we opened our doors in 2017, and we were primarily selling apple-based wines. Fun fact, if it's fermented from any fruit, legally it is a wine. So yeah, people say it's making it from apples. How can it be wine? Well, because that's the definition of what wine is.
Okay.
It's fermented.
That's a good, honestly, I had that question myself. So thank you for that.
So
yeah. So
whatever fruit, whatever, you know, nectar,
yeah,
it's a wine. That's how it
and
classifies.
then when was it? 2019 that the pandemic hit?
Yeah, well, 20. March 13th of 20, not that I remember.
Yeah, right.
You know, that Friday.
And you know, on that day, you know, the state shut us down.
It was only 2 weeks though. That's all it was
we
going to
were
be.
actually shut down until I thought it was 2 months.
Oh, of course it was. I'm saying it was only going to be 2 weeks.
It was only going to be 2 months.
Kids are only going to be out of school for 2
Yeah.
weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Business
Yeah.
will just shut down for 2 weeks so we can recalibrate, and then it just exploded.
Yeah,
It just,
2 or 3 months. Well, anyway,
went into
we
May.
were shut down for a while, and my son had gone online and bought a canning machine, a very manual canner of manual fill, manual seaming.
Okay.
And but never had a chance to take it out of the box because we were busy. Yeah. And when the pandemic shut us down, he dug it out of the storage and opened it up and put it together, and it was broken. We had bought it used.
Oh, so tell me what this is now. This can, it's just a can, the product.
John?
Yeah,
to can the product. So basically, what the machine did, it was a little 2-head fill system, and you know, you can find it was called an express fill, like 4500C or something, and it would pressurize the can, purge the air out with carbon dioxide, and then fill it under pressure so that the CO2 would stay in the drink.
Right. Like a soda or
exactly
anything. Yeah.
Anything
right.
carbonated.
Yeah. Right.
You know?
Okay.
And so I could do 4 cans a minute with this piece of equipment,
as opposed to
none.
Right. So how do you do it? How do you do it? You know, you couldn't can it other than that. Right.
So before that we were doing growler fills off the tap.
Okay.
And so we offered growlers for anybody that wanted our cider, and they would come in and they would buy the growler and then fill the growler and then cap it. And that would, you know, be something that they could take home with them.
Gotcha.
And then because we had nothing else going on and we still wanted to generate revenue and not go out of business,
Mhm.
you know, the way to do that was to pivot. And 40% of our income in 2024 came from distribution,
Yeah.
and 100 locations we sell to in Rhode Island.
100.
Yep.
And you just mentioned to me off air that you guys are into Connecticut.
That started in December of 24.
Great.
And I don't know. They told me we're in about 50 locations in Connecticut at the moment. But
Okay.
So this seems like a perfect moment to give a shout out to our distributor in Rhode Island,
Yeah.
McLaughlin and Moran,
Oh yeah.
which
Yep.
has been a wonderful partnership, and our new distributor in Connecticut, Levine, also a
Okay.
wonderful partnership.
I don't know
Very-
Levine. Are they physically out of the New London County?
yeah, they're actually in Norwich in the
No,
industrial
yeah.
park.
Okay, they're in Norwich.
Yeah,
Okay.
across from Dodd Stadium.
Oh, sure. No
Yep.
doubt. Yep, absolutely. It was the Navigators back in
Yep.
the early
Yeah,
days, right?
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
for sure. Now you said 100 locations in Rhode Island,
Yes.
Okay.
Over
because
100.
McLaughlin Moran, geez, you know, what I mean, they're well known.
Yeah.
you
Well,
know.
there's about 240 liquor stores in Rhode Island,
Okay,
and we're in over half of those, plus restaurants and bars.
great.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that didn't come overnight. That's for sure.
No, it did not.
No, and actually so when I was canning, it would take me 4 hours to can up an 80-gallon batch. You know, it's a pretty small amount. And then I was going out and visiting package stores during the second half or middle of the pandemic or
Yep.
whatever. And once I got to 25 locations distributing to, I had to hand it to this guy because I couldn't do that.
Yeah,
And we were still working at that point. We were starting to work on opening
Right.
back
Which-
up.
too many hats you were wearing
Yeah,
at that point.
it wasn't happening. And him and two other individuals working as our sales reps built it up to 80. And
Wow.
that was handed off to McLaughlin and Moran
Then
because they
one of
couldn't-
our sales reps
wow.
got
Quit.
promoted on his
Yeah.
day job and had to give us up as
Oh,
his
gee.
part-time job. And then I just could not keep up.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Well, I guess that's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
that's a
Well, he
great
was also
problem.
delivering.
we were selling and delivering.
Right.
In Rhode Island, we're licensed as a farmer winery, so we're allowed to self-distribute.
Okay.
And that's what we were doing.
Which
But
helped initially, I'm
it
sure.
did.
You
It
know what I
did.
mean?
It was wonderful. But, there came a point in time when, I forget how McLaughlin or Moran appeared on our radar screen. Do you?
We were talking distributors, and
Because they're one of the biggest, I think, in Rhode Island.
they are the largest, and they do the Anheuser-Busch.
That's what I mean,
The
yeah.
two options that we was like Craft Collective or McLaughlin and Moran. And as much as I love the craft side of it, and I want to do that, I spoke to a bunch of other breweries, and
In particular, Gray Sale.
Oh,
Gray Sale heavily
so shout out to the
suggested-
local, right?
Yeah, Jen is
Jen
great.
is-
She's
Jen is
been
an awesome
a huge
resource.
a huge benefit of support. But of the places that I spoke to, the biggest thing was like, I want to make sure that I can rely on, everything being lined up and getting all my paperwork. And as much as I like the idea of working with Craft Collective, Jen was a heavy influence in being like, I've been working with them for years. Everything's great. This is what you can expect.
With
And I was like,
McLaughlin
you know
and
what?
Moran,
I'm just
yeah,
I gotta go with
Right.
the one with the,
Yeah. Well, that she's a friend, you know what I
She's a
mean?
friend.
You know what I mean? She's
Yeah.
an advocate. So,
Yep.
you know what I mean? That makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
So operations essentially are in Norwich. That's your hub.
Well,
or-
back
then.
Back then, it was a hobby based out of first my basement in Norwich, and then
Okay.
then we moved it to his garage, and as we started growing. But yeah, we weren't commercial yet.
Okay. So now that we're commercial, so who does it? McLaughlin and Moran do all the packaging and everything? Or?
Oh no, we still do all the packaging.
So by hand, basically. if
By
you wanna
hand.
say it.
We graduated from that 2-head cannon. thing.
Right. Okay.
Very quickly realized that we could not keep up, and we bought a canning line made by Micro Canner, and that upped us to a case a minute.
Ooh.
Right.
Okay.
So from 4 cans to 24 cans.
Yeah. No, for sure. For
Yeah.
sure. Now that's being done where? Is it being done? It's not being done at this location.
No, but it is still in Westerly. We have a location that's not open to the public across town. and it's got cement floors and
Okay, so like
big
industrial.
sinks.
I've been there.
It's industrial. Yeah.
I've been there. It's great.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
I
Okay.
actually used to, as a matter of fact, I actually used to work there when it was something else. So I'm not going to say where it is,
Yeah.
but I actually used to work at the canning at their canning facility when it was another
Nice.
business.
Yeah.
And it's in Westerly, which is great, which is convenient. Now, do both of you live in Westerly now?
No, I'm currently in New London,
Okay.
and you're
live
in
in
Mystic, right?
Mystic. Okay, so you guys are still local in a certain respect. You know what I mean? That's
Cup of coffee on my way in the morning.
Yeah, no, right, exactly. That's unwind, right? You know, gear up.
Yeah.
One of the two. So my this is my assumption when I ask this question. What are some of your biggest challenges? And one of my assumptions would be, you know, getting the name out there as far as what you guys do and who you guys are. You know, and get it correctly. You know, what do you say?
I would say that's exactly right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And you know, my dad and our buddy Kenny and Joe did an excellent job at promoting us in Rhode Island. And now we're going to have to do the same thing in Connecticut.
Right.
So
Right.
it's just doing tastings at package stores, dropping samples at places, repeating to go in there. And it's not always like you walk in and you're like, hey, I want you to buy something. It's, hey, Joe, how are you? How's the wife? How's the kids? What's going on?
Right.
You know, and oh, by the way, I have some stuff for sale if you need it.
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't even have to talk about it. You know, it's just like you going in. When I was doing the distributing at the very beginning, you know, there's a place up, I don't know if it's Exeter, called Wolf Rock.
Okay.
And it's this little package store, and I walked in and I ended up talking with the owner. His name is Drew, really nice guy. And
Great package store.
yeah. And so I go in and Drew's like, I love it. I love local. Let me get 10 cases. And I was like, Drew, I only made 10 cases. I was like, I can't give you everything that I've got.
No,
And he's like, I don't
exactly.
care. I just want to support you guys. I love
Yeah.
you. You know, this is great. And I mean, he's still one of our regular purchasers.
Oh,
Now
that's
he
awesome.
purchases through M&M instead of us. But
Now, your other concern, and correct me if I'm wrong, this guy says, yeah, come on, I'll take it all, throws it on a shelf. Does that help you in the sense? Because now someone's going to be like, geez, what the heck is this? You know what I mean? I'd love to have a taste, a sample, figure it out, have a guy like yourself to say, what is this on the shelf? And that's what you have to basically say to him is like, can I come in on a Saturday or whatever day it is to, you know, to promote this?
Yeah.
Is that correct?
I would say most of them are already wanting somebody to come in and do sampling.
Okay.
So that's my dad's department.
I'm busy. I'm out doing tastings at liquor stores most Friday afternoons,
Okay.
like 4 to 6.
Okay. It's a good time, I think. It's, you know.
Yeah. And I would say if I can, you know, 20% of the people who walk through the door, I can get to do a tasting. A lot of people.
That's good.
They're in a hurry, you know.
Well,
so-
geez, 20%. I think that's great. You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And of that 20%, if about a quarter of them will buy something.
Okay. That's just as good.
Yeah. It's
And don't forget the other people that are looking around too, hearing what you're saying to this other
Oh, yeah.
person too. So,
right. So I mean,
so you're
normally,
indirectly talking to them.
you know, if I go into a liquor store, it's very normal for them to sell a case and a half or 2 cases just because I'm pouring tastes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if I can get people to taste it, I can get people to buy it.
Great.
People
well,
love it.
Well, that's great. That's, you know what I mean? That's perfect. And I think what will be nice, this will make for a good second show with you folks. Bring a product along and we can kind
We
of
can do a live tasting.
but they can see it. So, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
most people say, oh, that's just wine. No.
Right.
You know, no, it's not just wine. It is a wine, but this is the different
Well,
the
you know,
tasting things.
it's I'm glad you said that. You know, so there is wine, all hard ciders. What I said
Okay,
earlier about
yep.
if it's
So-
fermented from fruit, it's wine. So all hard ciders are technically a special subcategory of wine.
Okay. Because don't you forget, you got the canned stuff that's, you know what I mean, that looks like
Looks like beer.
yeah, you're right.
Right.
And they're like,
And-
no, that's a
and,
cider or whatever.
And
Or
we basically hard cider is sold as and marketed as an alternative to beer.
Yeah, right.
It's not. We don't market it or as wine.
it's not a malt beverage, but
No.
it's
Right.
you know.
But it technically is a wine.
Yeah.
But,
Okay. So dances in that because I want people to see it, and I think that leads me to my next request is if you could share your website, that they could see the product, they can see what it is, and they can go to that.
Tappedapple.com.
Easy enough, tappedapple.com.
Pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Now,
Or come visit us on High Street.
yeah,
Yeah.
right, sure, absolutely, from the retail
Absolutely.
location.
Go to the tasting room.
Yeah.
Yep.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every week.
Beautiful. That's also good to know, is that you guys are open every weekend for people to come in and try it. You know what I mean? There's no major commitment. We're not asking them to buy a gallon of tapped apple wine
Or 10 cases. And then-
Yeah, in that case, our most popular is probably people come in and they do flights. You can have
Yeah.
6 different selections. You can try
Ooh, okay.
a whole bunch of different things. You can try, like the menu's got wines, it's got ciders, it's got some balsamics that we do, just fun stuff. And people come in and like, let me get one of these and 2 of these and one of those.
Okay.
It's fine. Whatever you want to try.
Now, when you said balsamic, to me, I'm thinking of a salad.
I know. That's the thing everybody says, and I have to say, I reiterate it over and I'm like, don't think white vinegar. It's not that.
Right.
Balsamic is very sweet and kind of sugary.
It's consumable as far as
We only put a tiny bit.
Okay.
It's like a tablespoon to a 12-ounce can.
Okay.
So it's just influencing the flavor. And the balsamic we get is from Capizano's right across the
Oh,
river.
yeah.
So it's
Right
also
over here,
supporting
sure.
another local business.
Yeah.
And
The stuff that Capizano's carries is top shelf.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, it's
absolutely.
excellent.
Yeah.
So-
No, that they started that from the get-go.
Yeah.
They that was their forte, if you will.
Right.
So I love to hear this, and I think having this forum for our audience, for the community that tunes into 321 Media, they may have known of Tapped Apple, but I think you guys have progressed and have, I don't want to say metamorphosized into a bigger entity, but you really have.
We have.
A lot has changed over the years. I
Yeah.
mean, originally when we opened, it was just 12% still wine, and that was what we thought we were going to sell on the market. Our Watch Hill White is like a Pinot Grigio. It's dry, unfiltered. It's very good, but the market demanded the cider, and so
That's
year,
the trend, right? Is that
it's the trend, and that's fine. I mean, I'm not worried about it. I'll make whatever it
Right.
is, So, we have some bone dry crabapple cider, for example, that sells very well, and then people are often thinking like, we'll just say a commercial cider that's mostly sugar,
Yeah.
and they don't think, oh yeah, I can actually have something that's, a craft dry product specialty thing. It doesn't have to be this commercially made.
Yeah.
Syrup.
Yeah.
Right. No, right.
Yeah.
Sure.
And our most popular is an off dry. So it's got like 12-ounce portion has about 5 grams of sugar versus a lot of your commercial sweet stuff is 25, 35 grams of sugar, which is on par with soda,
Okay, now let me shift to the retail end where Tapped Apple is here in Westerly. I don't think I was first introduced to it, but there was a business after hours. I think it was the malted barley, actually.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you folks had come in and did a tasting and everything. And that's when you were able to kind of taste what you had at the time.
Right.
So that had to be 2017, 2000,
Yes.
you know what I mean? Right around this.
2017.
I have pictures from this.
Yeah, right. So things have changed now in the sense that you have like maybe socials and get-togethers at the location.
Oh
or-
yeah. We actually, I've got 5 or 6 private rental events set up before or after our regular business hours. Not that they couldn't do it during our business hours,
Right.
but people, renting out the tasting room. We just had a bridal shower this
Great.
past Saturday. They came in from 11 to 2 before we opened up. Food, drinks, everybody hanging out.
Great. That's
Back
wonderful.
in 2017 when we first opened,
Yeah.
our tasting room was from the fermenter tanks all the way to the back of the room was wall-to-wall aging tanks.
Okay.
We had we didn't have enough space to have a business after hours
Right.
and to host
right.
that many people. That's why we had it at the Malted Barley.
Yeah. So okay, that's what it was. Okay.
Right.
So thank you for clarifying that. And what was wall to wall in that location is now at the warehouse.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So now we're able to
So
kind of
we were-
jostle around now and kind of
leased
spread our
another,
wings.
We leased another space out at the warehouse and moved all of our aging facilities, aging tanks out there, moved all of our bottling and canning and all that whole processing now happens out at the warehouse. For the most, we do a little bit of fermenting still at 37 High Street at our
Okay.
tasting room, but most of it happens out at the warehouse.
Okay. So getting your product, besides coming into the retail end here on 37 High Street, they can go to any number of package stores. You know,
Yep.
you're in 100 of the 240. So the odds of the local package stores having are pretty high. You know?
Well, of the local ones, Easy Midway, Dick's, the Wine Store, and
Ocean State,
Ocean State are the four
Um,
closest that I
okay.
can think off the top of my head.
Hopkinton Liquor Depot, Village
Hopkinton,
Wine and
yeah.
Spirits.
Okay. So that's basically
we're
all of them.
Yeah,
like
pretty much everybody.
So I don't think there's a, because you just mentioned all the package stores in Westerly, I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, which is great.
Yes,
So
Right.
it is. It's
you know what I
great.
mean, and also the Charahoe area as well that we serve and our audience is in. So is there a possibility, and I'm just thinking here, someone's watching this show from California, they're natives of Westerly, and they said, oh geez, I'd love to try that product. Is there a way to distribute it out to California?
Nope.
No, you can't do that at this point.
Hop
Oh,
on
I
a
don't think you
plane.
could do it ever.
Hop on a plane and come and see
Yeah.
us.
Right. Yeah.
We looked into it, and it's actually more like the paperwork. So for every state, we have to pay a fee, and we have to do paperwork every month for how much we've sold to that state, whether or not we sell anything to that state.
Oh wow. So it's kind of cost productive. Cost.
Not interested.
Yeah. No.
Not
Right.
interested.
Yeah.
You know, we made 6,500 gallons last year. We have a holding capacity of 17,000. Once we fully distribute into all that we can into the farthest eastern side of Connecticut, being New London and Windham County,
Yep.
then we're going to move to middle Connecticut and then western Connecticut and
Okay.
just start taking over all that. And I don't think we have enough product to even start selling into Massachusetts once we get beyond that. I need to be rolling about 12,000 gallons a year.
Okay.
That's our max.
But that's basically, you just told us the progression of where it's probably going to
Yes.
go.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
and that we're going to go west into Connecticut and we'll
And
go
the
north
reason
into
for
Mass.
that is in order to sell into Connecticut, or any other state besides Rhode Island, there's a bunch of paperwork, there's a bunch of licensing, there's a lot of annual fees that have to be paid, and we paid all that. We're set it all up for Eastern Connecticut, but what comes with that is the middle of Connecticut and the Western, so we don't have to do it again.
Yes.
For middle Connecticut and Western Connecticut.
Right.
It's already paid for,
Yes.
so it makes the most sense.
Yeah, no, that's practical. Absolutely. For sure. For
Right.
sure. Okay. So just let me go through this now. We have the grandfather, the father, and the grandson,
correct.
which the grandson's actually the fifth, John
The fifth, yeah.
John the fifth, yeah.
Wiedencroft.
Wiedenheft.
Wiedenheft, excuse me. The fifth. So
You should be ashamed of yourself.
yeah, I know. I've been on what, about 30 minutes now with these guys. Okay. So having said that,
He's hard at work right now as we speak. So.
your grandson.
Well, somebody's got to.
Yeah, someone's got to hold down the fort, right?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
do the supervising, and I'll watch him work.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely. So what would you like our audience to know at this point? If you could both share.
I
your
guess one
opinion.
thing I would like to say is that cider has been an up and coming thing is growing.
No, for sure.
You know, and this is a very exciting time for us to be in the cider making business, and we don't make a whole lot of wine anymore. We thought that would be our primary product, but it turns out that hard cider is
Right.
what we're doing.
And you're going on the you're basically hearing the trend.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if they're calling for this, like you said earlier,
You got
John, okay, fine, we'll give it to you.
Yep.
This is what it is. So I think that's that's great that you shared that with the audience, because I think a lot of them may think it's just the wine aspect.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where the product is what's it called? Is it I'm losing my train of thought as far as the product in the can. What's it called?
The hard cider?
It's hard. That's called hard cider.
So yeah, we differentiate. Technically, you could call all of it hard cider, or you could call all of it wine. The carbonated product in the can is what we refer to as hard cider.
Okay.
At 8% alcohol. The stuff that's
Carbonation.
not carbonated, but it's in the bottle is what we
like
call the wine.
Okay.
And last year, originally, like our first year, we made 3,000 gallons of wine. And last year, I made 300 gallons of wine. And our total amount was 6,500 gallons.
Okay.
So, we made over 6,000 gallons of hard cider. And that's because we sold over 6,000 gallons the previous year.
Right.
So we have a large stock. We deplete from that. We rotate, we age. All of our products at this point are unfiltered, and it's because of how long we age them. That
Crystal
clear. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
That's
and a lot
awesome.
of people think that we're talking like a lot of sugar. It's not a lot of sugar.
No.
No.
Well,
No, that's
I
good.
don't
That is
like
good. That's good to
Yeah.
know. That's also another good point. That might be a
Yep.
conceived notion. I'm consuming a lot of sugar. No.
Right.
Maybe
Yeah.
some other products that are.
Well,
on
yeah.
the-
If you compare, if you compare tapped apple cider to the commercially available, the big guys, there's no comparison.
Thank
So
you.
it's
Yeah.
hey, thank you. Really appreciate you guys being here today.
This is great, and I think we'll set this up for a time down the road.
Sure.
Yeah,
for
sounds
you
good.
guys
We'll
to
bring
come
some
on.
samples.
Yeah,
and
and
do a
different
tasting.
different flavors and things
Yeah.
that's available, and when people get a visual,
Yeah.
it'd be great. So wonderful.
That sounds good.
Like
Thank you guys so
cheers.
much for being here. 37 High Street, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. People can
Correct.
come on in and taste it, and they can
And
go to basically any
7
liquor
days a
store.
week
in
at
the-
most liquor stores in Rhode Island.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
So
And
Yeah.
quite a few in Connecticut.
Right.
awesome, John and John. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
Thanks,
you.
here.
guys.
Thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
us.
All right, Paul. We will see you guys all in about 2.5 minutes with another episode of Community Insights.
CI, making it happen.
Experience local excellence with Roof Right Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, Roof Right specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, Roof Right is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401-212-4140.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Dunn's Corners at 224 Post Road, and everybody down here is getting the brand new iPhone 16. We have it here in stock. The best part is right now, if you trade in your old phone, you get it for free. We got deals all weekend, awesome savings. Come on down and see us, 224 Post Road, Dunn's Corners, Verizon Wireless Zone. We'll see you soon.
D&V Mechanical specializes in the installation, maintenance, and servicing of Mitsubishi ductless mini-split heat pump systems. We are certified by Mitsubishi as Diamond Elite Contractors and factory trained and up to date on the proper procedure of the installation and service of Mitsubishi ductless heating and air conditioning ductless heat pumps. We assist with the paperwork to reduce much of the stress-related documentation required to get the state rebates and federal tax incentives. We are not a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-nothing company. We are masters of ductless heat pumps. It's what we do, and it's what we know.